Is somebody excited to be here? Oh, come on, guys. Is that the best you can do? Is someone excited to be here? Somebody say yes. All right. My name is Steve Harris, and as you can tell, I'm way better looking in person. All right. And so today I have the amazing privilege to be talking about creating yes offers that your customers can't say no to. Is that something anyone is interested in? Somebody say yes. All right, for me, this is an amazing journey and privilege to be here. Just like Ellen said, 4 years ago, I came straight to this conference. I flew 16 hours from Nigeria, and my wife and I came together. She wasn't here, but I want to quickly dedicate this moment to my wife. Absolutely, thank you. Because without her, I would not be here. And I want to tell you something really quickly about her, because I've been in the situation, and I'm sure you have, where you've created amazing offers that nobody bought. Has that ever happened to anyone? Someone say yes. All right. And I remember one day back home in Nigeria, my wife and I were together, and we created this really, Brendan was talking about a $7 offer. We created an offer that was maybe like $10. And I had a lot of demand from people who said, Steve, I want you to teach us how to do this and teach me how to do that. And I created this webinar. $10. How much did I say? $10. Now, we pitched it, we promoted it, we did everything we could, and at the end of the day, I want you to just surmise a guess. How many people do you think subscribe to my offer? Can anybody just hazard a guess if you don't mind? 0. Oh, you guys are amazing. Not a single person subscribed to my offer. I was distraught, I was embarrassed, I was, all the things that Brendan said. And I remember telling my wife that I was so embarrassed and sad. And I said to her, if one person pays for my offer, I'm going live to do this webinar. 30 minutes to the webinar, I had no one. 20 minutes, no one. 10 minutes, no one. 5 minutes, no one. I was closing my laptop, and then I get a transaction. And I run to the living room to tell my wife, baby, guess what? Someone has paid. And I check the advice, and it was a payment from my wife. And my wife said, I thought you said if one person pays, you'll do it. She says to me, I'm your one person. So can somebody just put it over there for my wife? All right. So, as you can tell, I'm Steve Harris, and all this stuff, I help my clients create irresistible offers so that they can become oversubscribed. And oversubscribed is a state of being where you have more demand than supply. Does anybody want to be in that place? Somebody say yes. All right. So, getting into it. I love movies, and one of my favorite movies is The Godfather. And Don Corleone made the statement, I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. And when Don Corleone said this, you knew that it was going to get done. And just to quickly let you know, these were the exact same words I gave my wife. I told her to marry me. I said, I'm going to make you an offer that you can't refuse. And we've been married 14 years, so it kind of works. All right. So getting into this, I want to get quite tactical with this. So here's a popular opinion that most of us have. And as thought leaders, we say that one of the biggest challenges we have is being able to communicate the value we deliver. Is that true? We've struggled with that. But while that may be true, it's not entirely incorrect, but the statement is incomplete. And how do I mean it's incomplete? I'll tell you. It's incomplete because the biggest challenge we have is not in being able to communicate the value we deliver, but be able to communicate the value in a way that is valuable and important to the customer. Does somebody get that? Say yes. Right? So how do you communicate your offer in a way that is valuable and important to the customer? I want to say one thing really quickly. As, coaches, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, we're very caught up in the product. But I need to let you know it's not about what you want to sell. It's about what the customer wants to buy. Can I say this again? It's not about what you want to sell. It's about what the customer wants to buy. It's not about your transportation. It's about the destination. It's not about your transportation. It's not about your product. It's about where the customer wants to go. So in this presentation, I'm going to pitch this a little bit like the dark sides of marketing. It's nothing unethical, but I just want you to understand human psychology and buyer behavior. So let's get into this. Right? So to get your customers to say yes, like I said, it's not enough for your offer to be good. It's got to be too good to be true. And if it's too good to be true, you can get them to lose the ability to say no. I'm going to give you a real example. On the screen is a statement that brought many of us into the coaching and thought leadership industry. Give or take some averages. It says, do you want the freedom to attract high-paying clients, working only 4 hours a week, and making a difference from a preferred destination in the world, while you invest the rest of your time making memories with your family, your friends, and loved ones? Is this something that you would love? Somebody say yes. So I'm going to ask you a dumb question, because remember that I said it's not about what you want to sell, it's about what the customer wants to buy. So looking at the screen, what words jumped out to you? Freedom, fantastic. Anybody else? High paying, fantastic. Anybody else? Memories, fantastic. Now, whatever you saw on the screen is something that is urgent and important to you. Now, the previous speakers, one of the things they had said is that you've got to learn how to talk in the language of your customers. So it's not about what you want to sell, it's about what the customer wants to buy. And I also need you to recognize that what they want to buy many times is tied to their status. Whatever they buy, whatever you sell, is in some degree or the other tied to their status. And you've got to learn how to use this. Allow me to explain. Give you another example. What if I said to you that you could watch 1 million movies that are new blockbusters and old classics with no setup, no late fees, and you can watch them from the comfort of your device as many times as you want for as little as $10 a month? Is this something that might interest you in any way, shape, or form? Yes, it is, isn't it? And that's the proposition for many streaming platforms today, where they can say technically, and I wrote this myself, that you can watch 1 million movies on your phone for less than the price of a cup of coffee. Are you with me so far? So you've got to recognize that it's not about what you want to sell, it's about what the customer wants to buy. Let's give you another instance. So we've been at Kajabi Hero Live for the last couple of days. We've been having amazing times. Yesterday was a fantastic networking session, and people were talking about all the amazing things that they do and all those things. But have you ever networked with people and met them in the event, followed them on Instagram, or collected their business card and totally forgot who they were? Has that ever happened to you? Somebody say yes. Absolutely. Like, I get business cards and I'm like, I don't remember how I met you. But imagine a situation where, for example, you had a signature fragrance or a cologne that introduced you just before you walked into the room and left you as the point of conversation long after you'd left. Would that be interesting to you? Somebody say yes. Now, what do I mean by that? That's what cologne and perfume companies understand. Because you're not just spraying cologne or perfume because you just want to smell better. You want to have a signature fragrance. You want people to say, like, I was at backstage, and shout out to Pega and Ali and Gloria and all the amazing people at Kajabi. And I remember that I hugged Ali and she was like, oh my God, you smell so good. I was like, I know. You know what I'm saying? It was deliberate. That did not happen by chance, because I want to be noticed. I'll give you an example. I wear these really nice glasses. They make me look good, and it enhances my good looks. But let me ask you this question. I'm not wearing these glasses, or let me put it like this. When you wear glasses, you wear them for what? To see, right? If you have some sort of, like in my case, I can't see very well, right? You wear them to see, right? True or false? But I'm not wearing these glasses to see. Can I tell you the ugly truth? Come on, guys, can I tell you the ugly truth? I'm wearing these glasses to be seen. Oh, you don't hear me what I'm saying, so I'll say, I think these guys over here understand what I'm saying, right? I'm not wearing the glasses to see. I'm wearing the glasses to be seen, because I want people to notice me for whatever thing, because you've got to recognize it's not about what you want to sell. It's about what the customer wants to buy. You can buy any old frames or glasses for maybe $100 or $40, but you want to buy designer frames for the desire not to see, but to be seen. Now, going into the framework proper, how do you create yes offers that your customers can't say no to? There are 4 things you need to understand, and I'm going to break them to you. Number 1 is the product benefit, and I'm going to break them down. Number 2, and this is my favorite, it's their fantasy or deepest, darkest desire. Number 3 is the objection and time commitment. And number 4 is how you test your yes. So what is the product benefit? Very simple. You've got to answer the question, what's the product about? What does it do? And you've got to dumb it down as simple as possible. You've got to break it down, because I find that sometimes, because we're creators, we're looking for fancy schmancy ways to explain what we do that sounds very compelling, but the customers don't care. Remember that I said, it's not about your transportation, it's about their destination. Number 2, what is its USP? What makes it special? So what is it about your product, your service? Like the people on the panel came, they had different USPs about what they do and why people needed to sign up and so on and so forth. And number 3, this is the most important thing. What's in it for them? What am I going to get out of it? What am I going to get out of it? This is very important, the product benefit. Let's move on to my favorite part. Your customer's fantasy or deep, dark desire. And on the screen, I asked the question, what is the deepest, darkest desire that they may not be willing to admit to anyone, but they secretly want and would be willing to pay for? I'll give you an example. I'll use myself. So I go to the gym. Probably doesn't look like I do, but I do. I go there to the gym. I don't go to post pictures, but I go to the gym. I work out. Not as often as I should, but I work out. Now, when people tell you to go to the gym, they say, oh, you need to be fit, exercise, and all those things. But can I be honest with you? Can I tell you the ugly truth? I don't go to the gym because I want to be healthy. Health is a byproduct. It's great to be healthy. I want to walk up the stairs and down without panting or losing my breath. But can I just tell you the ugly to God truth? I go to the gym because I want to be able to take my shirt off. And let me use this word as we use in Nigeria, to oppress guys and impress girls. I know it sounds a little selfish, but that's why I go. I don't go because I just want to be healthy. Healthy sucks. It's great. What's the point if I'm healthy and you don't notice? I want to be able to fit. Look, I look good. You don't have to agree with me. I know I do. I wore this on purpose, right? I'm the only guy wearing a red shirt and trousers in this whole room. You're going to notice me. Thank you, Graham. I appreciate it, right? I want to be able to wear clothes that fit me like a hand in glove. You know what I'm saying? That is my deepest and my darkest desire. I may not admit it, but that's the reason I go. And you've got to learn how to key into what your customers' deepest and darkest desires are. I'll move on. Number 3, what is your customer's objection to this process? And many times the objection falls in the area of time and money. So why is the customer likely to say no? What is it about your product that they're going to have to reject you for? Right? What is the time or money commitment required from the customer that is likely to make them resist you? You've got to know what it is. Now, here's the kicker. How can you especially reduce the time commitment? And I'm going to give you an example. Is this making sense so far? Somebody say yes. All right. Check this out. Give you an example. Here we go. So, 2 people go into the gym. So, they want to improve their appearances. One person goes to the gym and pays $300 for a subscription, whatever the case may be. They go, they work out maybe 4 days a week for 2 years to get the body that they want. And the best, to some degree, maybe excusing a personal trainer, that they may get, or the gym company, the gym may get from them, is maybe $300 a month. Another person walks to the, goes for a cosmetic procedure, and they pay $30,000 or perhaps even more for the process. And what's the difference? One person is going to get the results in maybe 1 year or 2 years with a heck of a lot of work, while the other person can get a body in a day. Does anybody understand what I'm saying? So let me ask you from this perspective. You've got to recognize, guys, that your offer, and I think somebody on the panel mentioned this before, your offer has a need for speed. Your offer must have a need for speed. You've got to be able to handle the time commitment or the time objection. Give you an example. So, allow me to use this example, ladies, and I'm not trying to be, chauvinistic or any of those things. But if I said to you that to all intents and purposes, if there was no risk, no drama, nothing, and ladies, that you could get an hourglass figure that causes all the ladies around you to be jealous and causes all the men around you to desire you, for whatever case or point, and you could get that desired body in 24 hours. Forget about pills, forget about diet, forget about exercise. Is that something that perhaps to some degree might interest you a little bit? Most and generally, the answer is yes. And the reason it's yes is because, but if I told you, put it this way, but if I told you that you needed to go for a cosmetic procedure, you might be like, no, I don't think I do. So the problem many of us have is that we don't know how to frame our offers in a way that causes our customers to say yes. So let me move into this. Let me go into the next point. So we've explained, let me go backwards a bit. So we've explained how this works, and then we've brought it to, let's say, a streaming platform like Netflix. So in the product benefit, what is their benefit? It says, bring your favorite TV series or movies to you, like in a home cinema, cheap monthly payments. These are the benefits. What is the deep, dark desire? You can watch unlimited movies without leaving your home. You can watch them from anywhere you are in the world. You can watch them on your devices, and you can pay as little as possible. What is the objection or the time commitment? Setup fees, late penalties, expensive monthly payments. And then the last thing is you've got to test your yes. Now, what do I mean by testing your yes? If you pitch your offer to someone and they're not likely to say yes, then it's a no. Does anybody understand where I'm coming from? So you've got to learn how to practice this, and eventually, inevitably, it becomes a lot shorter and shorter. I'm going to give you another example from a company that I really, really like. My wife is a customer, right? And Victoria's Secret's an amazing lingerie clothing brand, one of the biggest in the world. And when we look at what they sell what I call feminine divinity. They sell the image of women as goddesses. Their marketing campaign talks about Victoria's Secret angels. Angels, my friend, as you know, are not mortal. They are immortal. They are heavenly beings. They are goddesses. Now, when they pitch with their marketing that they've got Victoria's Secret angels and they've got the wings and it's such a big deal, what happens? If you break down their offer in a way that most and generally appeals to a lot of women, there are different things involved. Now remember, this is me breaking down marketing campaigns, and you can do the same for yours as well. All right? So what is the product benefit for Victoria's Secrets? Now I'm going to use my wife as an example. I can't talk about any other woman, but I can use my wife as an example for obvious reasons, right? My wife doesn't buy Victoria's Secrets because it's comfortable. Thank you, ladies, right? She doesn't buy them because it's comfortable. She buys them because she tells me that they are sexy. They're seductive. She wants to do things to me that I can't even begin to imagine, right? So they're sexy, seductive, high quality, and exotic lingerie. Now, what is her deepest fantasy and darkest desire? When she wears them, she don't want me to be thinking about no other woman. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So for her, when she wears them, it makes her feel sexy. It makes her feel in control. It makes her feel like she's powerful. And I wrote here, she wants her partner to have only eyes for me and think of me when I take my clothes off so I'm being worshiped like the goddess that I am. And that's very important to her. What is the objection or time commitment? It's pretty expensive. It's not cheap. Then how do we test the yes? How do we frame it in a way that is compelling for her? I wrote here that what Victoria's Secrets and other wonderful lingerie companies do is they sell lingerie that turns women to goddesses who are worshipped by men. That is the marketing proposition that makes it attractive to the client. So when you're thinking about your offer, when you're thinking about your campaign, I know this perhaps to some of you, you're like, oh my God, doesn't this sound like, oh, it's deep and dark and oh my God, I want to just give love and lights and rainbows and unicorns and kumbaya. Yes, but you also want to make money, true or false? Come on, guys, can we be real for a second? You're not here because you just want to learn another tactic. You want to learn how to make money. You want to learn how to give your family the life that you understand, that you want. And in order to do that, you've got to recognize what motivates people to buy. And you're not doing anything sleazy. You're just touching, can I use it this way? Touching them at the right spot. So let me just move on. All right. Now, when it comes to offers, you've got to recognize that if the objection is greater than your offer, they're most likely to say no. And that's the problem that I've seen with many campaigns. And, I've been privileged to work with many clients around the world, from the United States, Canada, Asia, America, and so on and so forth. And I've recognized that one of the biggest challenges to them scaling their offers is not handling the customer's objections. You've got to answer the question before they ask it. You've got to put yourself in the frame of mind to become the customer. And like Brendan so articulately said, your customers, your likes, your comments, these are real people with real issues that need real help that you're offering to them. So your job is to be able to understand what their objection is. And you've got to recognize that if the objection is greater than the offer, they're more likely to say no. But if the offer is greater than the objection, you're more likely to say yes. Like, think about what Kajabi's proposition is, give or take. Many of us, prior to using Kajabi, were using other platforms that we had to duct tape together to get the same kind of results. You would get a processor for your email campaigns. You get another processor for your payment campaigns. You get another processor for this, and it was just a bunch of duct taped mess, so to speak. But then with Kajabi, what did you have? You had something that gave you an ability to create and sell your digital content, host communities, go live, sell your stuff, create email campaigns, all in one platform for a price that is somewhere within your reach. And that's the proposition. They handled all the objections in a single campaign. So I'm going to close by saying this and give you a quick story. And by the way, you can click the QR code and get something free that I have for you. I want to end by saying this. I've gone from a situation where I couldn't serve the people in my community because I didn't know how. I've gone from situations where, and recently we moved to the United States about 18 months ago. And moving here, it was a bit of a turbulent experience because I had to leave the familiar of where I was in Nigeria as a successful coach to move to the US and seemingly start again. But in 1 year, I've been able to help people from around the world. Now, the theme of Kajabi, if you remember very correctly, it says, own your destiny, right? Now, when I was sitting behind prepping to come up here, I realized that, you know what? It's not just about owning your destiny. If you flip the words O-W-N and you flip it around, it says now your destiny. The reason we are here is not just to own our destiny, but like Brendan said, our destiny begins now.